Hey there, hope you're well. As we close out the year, it makes sense to look ahead to 2025 and see what are the cloud events and DevOps events that are coming up, where are they, and when are they happening. So I'm going to cover the events by the major public clouds, obviously, but also some other events that are related to the whole sphere of cloud native Kubernetes platform engineering. And some top tips: go local and make sure that you network at these events that are physical, in-person events. Personally, I don't really fly overseas. It's just too expensive when really the most I'm going to get out of it is networking. Most of the talks and the workshops are going to be available online, so when it comes to the subject matter, you don't actually have to be there. As I say, if you're going to go there, it's really more about networking. And another note is there's almost no events in Q1. I'm not sure why that is, but I have a feeling all around it's got to do with budgets. So there's just never really any events in Q1, but there are events in Q4, so it's not about the cold weather or anything like that. It's just, they just don't tend to be any in Q1. Let's move on. So, major public clouds, the first one is AWS. They have an annual event called reInvent, and it's usually in late November, early December. Now after that kicks off as well, there's usually follows up with a kind of tour of smaller regional summits after. They're usually 1 or 2 days only, whereas reInvent is much longer. So I have attended, for example, a regional summit, and it's kind of similar but different material. But again, as I mentioned, a lot of this content is going to be online. So it is nice to be able to attend a regional summit just for networking. Now Microsoft works a bit differently. Obviously Microsoft, very diverse company. It actually has 2 events, but the first one is Ignite. And this is enterprise but also cloud, so the big Azure event as well. But remember, Microsoft existed before the cloud, so that's why Ignite tends to be a combination of both enterprise and cloud. And this tends to be held in May and June, and it's held in the US, Europe, and New Zealand every year. As well as there's a kind of rotation, a bunch of other places as well. For example, often in India, although not this year, I believe. But this date, May, June, is in the US, and you'll also see Europe and New Zealand and other times of the year. There's also Microsoft Build, which is more developer and service orientated. Now, although Microsoft splits those up because it does so many different things, reInvent kind of is more like cloud plus developer as well. So Ignite tends to be the one that gets all the press about the cloud and stuff, but Build it, you might be very interested in that, and that tends to be held in late May. So just to give you an idea. And then of course we've got Google Cloud, which has a cloud event called Google Cloud Next, and that's held every April. This is in Las Vegas. By the way, AWS reInvent is also always in Las Vegas. Microsoft Ignite, actually a number of different American cities. So those are the public clouds. Let's look at the other ones, the other events. We've got PlatformCon, which in recent years has become more and more popular. So obviously relates to platform engineering. It's held in June. Now this is a virtual event, but there are what they call live days that happen at the same time in New York and London as well. But in general, it's a virtual event. So it's not really aimed at networking unless you attend a live day, but it's more about the content. And yeah, it's all available online for obvious reasons. And then you've also got KubeCon and CloudNativeCon. Now, this is sort of run by the CNCF, Cloud Native Computing Foundation, if I remember correctly, which is also part of the Linux Foundation. And they run KubeCon and CloudNativeCon at the same time. Now, there is not one huge big event in the US. That's not the way this one works. Actually, there are multiple regions, so it kind of goes on tour, and it's all year round except in winter. It's not held in winter. So this kind of is what I'm talking about earlier. You don't see anything in Q1. So all year round, but not in winter. And some of the countries that it goes through: China, Japan, India, US, Amsterdam, and London, and I think there are more as well. And it also includes, although I think this is also for only for Europe, but it also includes, at the time of the European event, ArgoCon, BackstageCon, CiliumCon, Cloud Native Kubernetes, AI Day, EnvoyCon. So a lot of these things are products. And these are products that have gone through the CNCF, and I think most, if not all, of these have graduated. So, but again, these are called, I think they're called co-events or something like that, and they only seem to happen once a year when the European event happens. So, I hope you, hope you found that interesting. These are some good events. Make sure you book early, and as I say, they're good networking potential, but mostly it's all about the subject matter. Hey, if you like this, please check out some other videos from the channel. We recently reached 100 subscribers. We got a whole bunch of videos, 60 plus videos on all kinds of stuff related to cloud and DevOps. I know you'll find them useful and interesting. So thank you for watching, and see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.